Hello and welcome. It is the 29th day of August 2019. Time for a crypto market update. The first in 2 days on this channel. The view counts are going really, really low, and I suppose that'll be the case until the price goes up really, really high, as I've been noticing a lot of that, at least this year within the bull market run that happened earlier this year, and then the end of 2017, 2018 run for viewerships. It was just magnificently high, and then declining periods, and I've seen a major decline on my crypto views over the last month or so. And yeah, I'm not going to go over too much, but I think it's really important to note within this Bitcoin dominance in here from this last high, this thing is just not giving in as far as breaking down below the 18 as Bitcoin continues to dominate. From this high in here, this correctionary phase obviously very successful. This one was just an easy correctionary win if you look at it this way. This one here, little bit of time, but it wasn't able to really break down from this support. And now, again, it's been a good amount of time, but as it is within this 18, getting up to the highs about 3 sessions ago on this one here, pausing the 18 highs, getting above it yesterday and pausing in that area right now, showing a lot of strength at the upper end of this area. So definitely got to give a lot of reason why this thing could have another leg higher and Bitcoin continuing another leg and that of the dominance as it really started getting going on April 1st after it broke out of this major sideways run it had from its last up run in here. And of course, like always, all bets, trades, and of the like is within everyone's risk and their own reward. I don't think I said that in the intro in this. I say that, of course, in every video. And for myself, risk reward management is job number one. So as I've been stating, as long as it's in this range, it's just at it's in that sideways choppy mode until it breaks it, and it's hasn't broken it, but it's now at the very bottom of this. We'll call it twice, 4 times hit. I mean, you kind of came close here on July the 2nd, and then most certainly this point here in the middle of July, and again at the end of the month. Coming close to it on this low pierce on August the 15th. But again, another test in this general area. You can't go down too much more until we can say, oh, we're breaking below. As if this thing goes down below 9,000, well, that's basically what would be in store. And again, first on the way support to 63 and change would be somewhere around the low 8,000s. And then looking at it short term, 3 hour time frame breaking down from this level here. I'll use the tethered the rest of the way short term, which is the exchange that I'm using. But it's pretty much the exact same price, and it's showing the exact same things. Except for now, as I go each period, I'm gonna the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes look so much better on a more active traded market, which is what this is. So it breaks down at this point in here after it had this most certainly concise support at the low 99s, high 98s area, and that's where it broke it down from the support area just around in here. So I'll put that line in, see how well that or lack thereof and how it reacted after the fact. So there's that one big hour, 1400 hours, 2 p.m. Eastern yesterday, and then from that point just this grinding its way lower, not taking much time at all to get past, and just a little amount of time to congest, and the little time was between 2300 and 1 hours through this 2 hour period in here where it congests at that major low and then breaking down, making a new one. And this high coming close to this level of support, but in that area coming close to the 18 average of lows. And we could see it right now. It looks like it's breaking down, and it could very easily be doing this, getting down below here, and then testing the more accurate of those lower numbers, which is about 91, 9200, which is where pretty much around the exact lows that were shown on the more longer term or daily time frame. There we can see on the 15, there's the selling at 1345 is where it sort of started, but it really got big here at 14. It was under a half an hour now. And then you can see how it just wasn't able to sustain any rallies, just mainly sideways corrections all the way through. A little bit of a rally. The only best rally it's had was from this low to this high, and that's not much at all. That's up to 95 from like 93, so that's only a little over a couple of percent of a move. And it looks right now as if it's breaking down away from this 18 average lows as well. So the 4 minute time frame, let's just see if we can figure out what did it stop the selling about 1416. So it was basically over 15 minutes of a move lower, and then the amount that it lost in here was okay 10.2 down to about we'll say like 96. So 340 plus 2 is 540. So that's the volatility of like 6-7%. And then from here, 9600 to like 9300, it's had uh, 300, which is like much less volatility, like 4% from this low to this high. But if I do it from this high, the volatility loss is going from 9750 to 9320, so 400 and change. So about 7% again. Same, maybe the same volatility from here to here as there was from here down to here. But obviously much longer right now. And I'll go over this just quickly on the more longer term. It is looking here, ooh, not so good. And I'm going to use Bitstamp for the more longer term here, which is the weekly, monthly. And amongst that first one, which is the week chart, weekly, whatever, it started correcting on the July 15 candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for the first time is now approaching the lows, the 18 average of such. So as it goes on the breakdown, it's going to come down to more of these immaculate tests, as we have had in here a lot of empty space from this low to this high. So it really hasn't filled much. But there was a lot of empty space from this low to this high, and it filled an okay amount going down, of course, to 3,000. So that would be a bullish correction. But on a bullish correction, you expect point low, point high, and then again a point low. Now, technically speaking, that was only an okay one. If you look at the charts long term, it could technically have a lower high, a lower low, and then start a bull market. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. And then, of course, if it's going to go down there as it is anyway, you're going to be talking about, oh, is the run over? Is this an ultimate top? Is this all a short term run that never lasted? Because it's either going to work or it's not within cryptocurrencies. And on a bullish level, any type of moves down here, making a higher low, filling some of this, it's like, okay, that would work. And if it doesn't, then we stay in this range, even just have a little failed breakdown, but getting above this high, then we'd be talking about breaking above here. Okay, death of the dollar, or at least, yeah, pretty much all those sort of deals that would go with it. It's one of those either or situations. And amongst these moves in here, and I showed the start, the Bitcoin dominance, pretty much almost every single altcoin is getting their asses kicked. As we have Litecoin against the dollar from those June highs down from about 140, now at 64. Ethereum was up to about 368 down to 167, and the overall volatility is just massively sick. Okay, let's go from 6 and change, but generally speaking, trading $6 to $12, and then go up to 1300, down to under 100, closer to 85, and then right now just a small up move to 350, small down move to about 168. Here we have Ripple again from these highs in here. So a lot of these coins have highs in the start of June when Bitcoin had its breakout. In this case, this going from 47 down to a quarter, and this is Ripple. Neo against the dollar. Well, back in here, it was like 12, 13 cents, going up to about $150, down to over 5, but we'll call it like 6, 7. And recently, in its June highs, and everything's topping on the June 24th or so area, 23 and change, now down to 8 and 2/3. And Feathercoin, this is something that is one of those old school ones. But on its 2017 low, it was about a half a penny. Moves up to 68 cents, now at about 1.5 cents. And it's June high in here, but uh, this one may not make it. And as we move through, how many of these altcoins are going to make it? How many will? That'll be an interesting question moving forward. But as it goes, none of these coins are going to do well unless Bitcoin does well. I, don't think there's any way around that. At least as I look at it. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to be doing next a gold and silver video, which will probably get more views as that is starting to get really popular. And I'm going to show a whole bunch of different ratios in it, stuff like just because I got the option within this site to do so. I'm going to put that obviously in a separate video, but what we're seeing in that is the gold to silver ratio mainly continuing its dominance. And check that out in the next video and all the other stuff. Alrighty, take care. Bye bye.